Peace, love, and cheers, fellow YouTube community. I wanted to give a shout out to Logical Deduction. He sent me a video on this guy talking about perfectionism in opposition to what I was saying regarding perfection, and I appreciate it when I have a fellow YouTuber who always loves to disagree with me, and I tell him, keep doing so. Because really, it's out of disagreements that when we have an open and conscientious mind, we can come to a new threshold, or rather a new, more mature understanding on a concept than we did a prior. Now, this video he sent, I did watch all of it. It was about 30 minutes, and it's titled The Perils of Perfectionism. He made a little bit of interesting points that I would like to bring forth in this video, and then I'll bring my opinion on the table. First, he did make a good point about how you look at the most famous writers, William Shakespeare and Charles Dickens, he used as an example. And if you look at William Shakespeare's plays, he's wrote about 52, 54, I'm quoting the said individual on the other video. However, only 5 to 10 plays are regurgitated over and over and over again and played over and over again. And out of all of Charles Dickens' novels, there's only about 5 or so, arguably more, but still the minority of his works that are considered quote-unquote perfect. Now, or if you look at scientists like Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton, the majority of what they do in their works were imperfect and did not stand the test of time, but it was 1 or 2 things that they did which stood the test of time and we still use today. Now, what's interesting about this is it kind of correlates to the idea of success. If you are a perfectionist, the individual argued, then in some ways you're being cowardly because there's a fear of failure. But really, when it comes to anyone who's seen as quote-unquote successful, they usually tend to be the people who fail more than the average person, because they do not see failure as something negative, rather they see failure as a progression. Just like any time if Logical Deduction or anyone else disagrees on me on my videos, that's not a failure on my part, that's a productive outlet. That is a way to improve that which can never fully be improved and can never fully be perfect. And I think that's what the main argument in this individual's video was, that perfection in and of itself is simply an illusion. And when people put standards of perfection upon you, especially in this Western world, then you are bound to fail. You're going to fail no matter what, because the expectation is very it's impossible to really reach. So that's why I stand on my statement when I say one word definition for perfection is imperfect. But when I define perfection in that regards, I'm usually trying to reshape what it is to be perfect. When we divide perfection from imperfection, then we are going to continuously disappoint ourselves, because perfection is illusion. But if perfection is imperfection, everything's perfect as is, then you can start to really get out there, make mistakes, and through all those different mistakes have certain success rates, right? But even those famous people, from Charles Dickens, William Shakespeare for writers, and Newton and Einstein for scientists, even these successful people, you could argue, and I could be completely wrong, but you could argue that they did not have a personality complex of perfectionism. If anything, they did what a great theater director once taught me at a young age. Love the art within you, not you within the art. If you love you within the art, and you're thinking about you as an individual on stage, or whatever art outlet is being used, and you're thinking egoically, you're thinking, this is about me, and I have to proceed forth, and I have to be perfect. But if you love the art within you, and you follow the universal proverb that most good mothers have said to their children, the world is not all about you, right? Then you're really tapping into perfection. But perfection in that regard is being able to let go and allow yourself to be imperfect. So, how to conclude this? So really, quality over quantity. And to get true, timeless quality, you have to mull through the quantity of trial and error, to the end of days. Whew. Having said all this, logical deduction, if you're listening, I do agree. I agree completely with the video that he argued, that he made. He also argued atheism, which I, as a fellow agnostic, if you will, don't like to be labeled, but see or feel a divine source that is larger than myself. I would argue that even atheism acknowledges a God. After all, to be an atheist means to not believe in God. Just like to hate is to lack love. Because if you didn't lack